How's it going, billionaire? Today, I actually have a video where I'm going to talk to you about bleeding habits and why you need to either stop them or start them. But first, before I start the video, I want to talk to you about how today I went to a restaurant and had a pizza, and it was pretty good. We was at this mall, and I'd never been to this restaurant before. It was like a pub tavern type place, and it was pretty good. I had this pizza. We had a buffalo dip we shared, me, my brother, my dad. And yeah, it was pretty good. I would rate that place like a good 8. It had some cool like stuff in the restaurant as well. And the servers are really nice actually too. So shout out them. But yeah, today we're actually going to talk about bleeding habits. And this is something that I've been already dealing with for a very long time. And I kind of just thought of the term bleeding habits. And so I'll explain what that is first. A bleeding habit is like a small step that leads to something more. And the interesting thing about bleeding habits is that they can be very negative or very positive. So, in the context of my own life and what I've been dealing with, I actually talked about this in a video not too long ago. Is like I started to watch content maybe like a year ago that was mostly informational, right? Pretty much purely informational content. I stopped watching like brain rot content or just typical social media content. And at one point, after doing that for months, I kind of got bored of it, honestly. And so this is what I talked about in another video. I started to watch random content, and I mentioned a couple of content creators, and there's nothing wrong with their content. I want to make the point. But for my personal life, watching like entertainment-based content, like pure entertainment, genuinely served me no purpose, and it felt really bad. And so that was the bleeding habit. It was just watching one video. I'll use Flight Reacts as an example again. Watching that one Flight Reacts video or that one whatever video, it didn't feel like a big deal at first, but then it slowly led me down to just being like addicted to social media again, at least in the sense of entertainment. Like I started watching shorts again on YouTube. Like I was like, what am I doing? I'm watching shorts on YouTube. Ugh. But no, all seriousness though, it was a terrible bleeding habit. But at first it didn't feel like a big deal. It was just one drop of blood. But then I started bleeding everywhere. I started constantly wanting to watch social media, wanting to watch this stupid shit on social media. But then last night I kind of came to the realization when I was watching just some videos, I couldn't find anything I actually wanted to watch. And I started to actually crave just something actually potent with information. Like I started to actually want something that was informational. And so today I was watching Myron Golden. It felt really good. I was watching this other guy. I think his name is Here Nor There. He makes like informational content too about like manifestation and stuff. But now that's an example though of a bad bleeding habit, right? Now, a good example of a good bleeding habit is in my own life. At one point, I would say like 3 weeks ago-ish, I started to be very consistent about waking up early in the morning. I started to wake up around, the time would have slightly differed, but I was going to sleep around 12 at night, almost every night, and waking up around 8 o'clock every day. And I know for some people that's not even that early or anything, but for me, that's very early. Like, I've always had a terrible sleep schedule in my life, especially in the past couple of years, but the first initial day was very tough, and then it got easier and easier. And that little choice just to wake up earlier in my day led to a lot of production in my life. And then it led to other bleeding habits as well. Even like making these videos, for example. Like yesterday, for example, when I made the video after not making videos for a couple of days, that was kind of the first step. And now this video honestly feels very natural again. It feels very good just to record a video. I'm not really thinking so hard. I'm just doing it because it's a natural thing to do now. So the overall point I want to make is that bleeding habits, once you're aware of them, you got to realize that you can have really good or bad bleeding habits, and that as much as like doing that little thing that is not necessarily good for you doesn't feel like a big deal, it can lead to a lot of other bad things. Like even too, for people out there who have ever drank before, who ever smoked before, who ever done drugs before, you do it one time. Like you go drink with your friends one weekend and it doesn't feel like a big deal, but then now you want to do it again and again and again and again. And if you're like me and you have an addictive personality, it is especially bad. But I think the average person in general, it's like once you do one little bad thing, you feel more obligated, or you feel like it's more okay to do another bad thing or do that same thing over and over again. But realize, man, you have the exact same power in the other way. You can do one little good thing for yourself, and now you can want to do it over and over again. You can naturally want to just keep getting better at whatever it is. And like even working out's a really good example of that. Like if you're someone who does not work out and you want to get in the best shape of your life, all you should start doing, fuck what all these fitness influencers telling you, right? Literally just start doing 10 push-ups. Like right now, do 10 push-ups. Get down the ground, do 10 push-ups. I don't care where you're at in your fitness journey. I don't care if you've worked out in the past, if you've never worked out a day in your life. Just do 10 push-ups right now. And I'm telling you, that's all you need to do. And of course, too, there's other things you can do. You could jog. You could do jumping jacks. I don't really care. But just do something small. And I'm telling you, just start doing that thing every day, and you're naturally going to do more and more and more. It's going to stack, and it's going to bleed into something way bigger. And so that's ultimately the point I want to make to you today, is that you have the capability to have bleeding habits that can change your life for the better or change your life for the worse. That's kind of the cool thing about it. So please find a bleeding habit today that can make your life better for tomorrow and the week after that and the month after that and the year after that. And especially with 2026 coming up, I think it's really important to start that bleeding habit today. It would have been better if you started a week ago, but you don't have that choice. Now all you have is the choice of today. So please, like literally I'm telling you, today is the 29th. If you're actually watching this on the 29th, shout out you. Let's assume you're seeing this in 2026. Like, go and start something today and literally like write it down or set a reminder for yourself a month from now on your phone and be like, oh, like let's say you start doing push-ups, right? Do the push-ups today and then set a reminder in your phone saying like, how many push-ups can I do today? I don't know. Basically what I'm saying, man, it's just start doing the thing like that you need to do today, even if it's a very small quantity of it, even if it's such a small amount, because tomorrow it'll be easier and the day after that it'll be easier and easier and easier, and you'll just start naturally doing more and more and more. But it works the opposite way too, and I've said it so many times. So that's the video. Thank you for watching. Bleeding habits are a very powerful tool. But of course, any powerful tool can destroy or build you up. So use them wisely. But thank you for watching if you did. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing, end of the year. New Year's Eve is coming up. Spend it with your family, but before, you go enjoy the night. Go do what you got to do with every day. But thank you for watching as always. I love you. Goodbye.